Gray's Mail, party time. Excellent. It's Monday, it's 10:30, and it's time to party with your excellent host, Gray Disciple. Party on, Gray. Gray's Mail.
If that intro does not put a smile on your face, I don't know what's wrong with you. What's going on, guys? Gray Disciple back with another Gray's Mail. Can you guys believe that it's already Thanksgiving here in America? Man, the time flies. I love this time of year though. Now I'm in Texas, so I wish it was a lot colder than it is right now. For the last couple of years, it's been unseasonably warm around here. I need some cold weather, so you guys up north, just blow it on down here. So I got some really cool questions. Now I'm gonna say this before I begin. I had a really controversial question that I was going to answer on this Gray's Mail, and I decided not to. Every single week I have a video or two that I put up that really pushes the envelope, and it drives my subscribers away. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break. I'm not gonna answer that question. It was about what are my thoughts about the refugees coming into America from Syria, and you know, the America's reaction to that. And I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to touch that one right now. If you guys really want me to focus on it, maybe the next Gray's Mail we'll talk about it. So here is the first question I would like to address, and this one was from a couple Gray's Mails back, and it was from one of my subscribers. His name is GP1207, and he says, whilst working your everyday job, do you think more about creating content for YouTube or more about playing your next game of COD? What makes you excited? Does the fact of you making YouTube video make you want to play COD less? Or have you ever got bored playing every single day? That's a lot of questions, and you know what? Believe it or not, I think about this a lot. All right, so let's start at the beginning of what you asked me. While I'm working my everyday job, what do I think more about creating content or playing my next game of COD? I'm constantly brainstorming ideas, and they kind of go in with one another. I think about setups or patterns that I want to run in the game, and I'll go to the game and I'll test it out, and if it works, I know it will lend to a YouTube video. Each and every day, I wake up and I think to myself, is there something else that I can do a YouTube video on? Or I'm seeking for ideas, and I constantly have them rolling around. Would that work? Do you think that one would work? And you ask me, does the fact of making YouTube video make you want to play COD less? Believe it or not, yes. It has somewhat drained me of my excitement to actually get on Call of Duty and just enjoy myself. You know, I used to log in, really relaxed. If I was having fun, I would grind and grind and grind for hours. If I didn't, I would just turn it off and go watch a movie. But now, I'm not saying that it's turned Call of Duty into a job, but in the back of my mind, every single time I log into Call of Duty, I'm thinking, I gotta get a gameplay. Even though I have a huge hard drive, which is mostly filled with Call of Duty gameplays from Black Ops 3, I still feel when I get on Infinite Warfare that I've got to get some gameplays going, and it has sapped some of the joy out of actually playing the game. Do I ever get bored of playing the game every single day? Well, I don't play the game every day anymore, and that's just because of the time of year with my job and my family and the holiday season. It gets a little bit more difficult around this time for me to do it. I've also got caught up in this series of books. I can't put them down, man. So I hope that answers your question, all right? And it kind of lends to the next question. And this one was proposed, and it was not in a Gray's Mail video. It came from Heir of Gotham, I believe. And he asked me, does gameplay really even matter anymore? There's only one channel on YouTube, in my opinion, where gameplay actually matters, and that's TheMarkofJ. I know there's these clans or pub stomping channels where they go for these crazy gameplays, but I don't watch any of them. You could say that I'm Marksman goes for gameplays, but I think he just wants to have something entertaining enough while he talks. I used to watch TBNR Frags, and of course he put a lot of pressure on himself to get these amazing gameplays. At least he did back in the Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3 days. But the only channel I can really think of where gameplay actually matters is TheMarkofJ, because that's what he bases his entire channel on. You could argue Optic Scumpy's the same way. I mean, most of the MLG guys, you watch them to see how they play so you can mimic their play style. For smaller mid-sized YouTube channels, You just don't want to post something where you're dying like every other life. That gets really aggravating. Like, dude, why am I even watching you? Unless you're absolutely hilarious, I don't want to watch you. My advice to people who think about gameplays like that, thinking that they have to get a complete game, like a complete game of team deathmatch where you get over 40 kills and under 5 deaths, don't put that pressure on yourself. You can put together 5 bloodthirsty streaks, and that's a nice video, or 3 merciless streaks, or 2 ruthless streaks, or 1 relentless, and just show the streak. You don't have to put all this pressure on yourself to get this extended game out there. Alright, so this next question comes from Ethan Fowler, and he asks me, do you think the next Call of Duty will be in the past or in the future? And a lot of people have asked this question. I think there's been a lot of wonderful answers to it as well on many different channels. Let me tell you my perspective on what happened in the last 3 years. Everybody begged for something new and something different, and Activision monitored the gaming community, and they saw Destiny, and they saw Titanfall, and they saw people's reaction to it. Even if the games hadn't come out, what you have to understand is there are companies called market research companies where they invite people in and they pay them money for their opinions, and they show them products before they release on the market. I've been a part of many of these studies for deodorant, for grills, shoes, soft drinks. I was in a market research for Pizza Hut, testing out new ideas for pizza and crust. I've been in a market research for alcohol. I mean, there's so many companies that want people's opinions before they release the stuff on the market, okay? The community wanted a change in Call of Duty around probably the Black Ops 2 Ghost era, and so they saw Destiny and they saw Titanfall and the reactions that people had, so they're like, all right, let's go for it. So here comes Advanced Warfare. And when it dropped, I think the community backfired, or the community backlashed on them. But Treyarch had already begun, as did Infinite Warfare. They had already begun the process of making their games. Now Black Ops 3 came out, and the community received it much better than Advanced Warfare because it was a Treyarch game, and Treyarch games are always the most fun to play. But by the time Infinite Warfare, probably a year and a half away from being released, they still saw backlash from the community. So they thought to themselves, what can we do? Because everybody keeps bringing up this boots on the ground. So what I believe happened, and I can't prove this, is they went through and they looked at all of their older Call of Duties, and they looked at the popular ones. Let's say Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, and Modern Warfare. And they looked at them and they said, which one could we remaster the fastest for the least amount of money? And they picked Modern Warfare because it was the most simplistically made Call of Duty compared to the other two, and that's why we got Modern Warfare Remastered. Now you ask me, will the next one be boots on the ground? I think the next 5 will be boots on the ground, but I still think there's going to be a community backlash. Sledgehammer will come out with the boots on the ground. People will automatically like it because it's boots on the ground, even though Sledgehammer's Call of Duty game didn't really even look like Call of Duty. So I'm curious what they're going to do with it. And then Treyarch will come out with theirs, and then people will start moaning again at how boring it is because the speed of the game will be slowed down to such a point that you'll miss the boost jump and the infinite running and the wall runs. So yes, the next one's going to be boots on the ground for sure. Now the final question, I actually don't remember who asked me. It was a conversation that took place on one of my live streams. It was a couple days, but it was last week, and people were talking about TheMarkofJ doing a supply drop. With the COD Points, he spent $200, and what were my thoughts about it? Now GCP did an amazing video on supply drops. I love the way he worded it. It was very relaxed, and I couldn't have said it better than myself. So if you guys go check out GCP, I liked how he worded it. But they were all talking about, what are my feelings about the supply drops? Well, here's something that you guys may not realize is I actually watched the entire video of TheMarkofJ. All 18 minutes of that supply drop, and I did it for selfish reasons. I wanted to see what would happen if somebody spent $200. And all I saw was duplicate after duplicate after duplicate, and all he got were the weapons that are available in the quartermaster and just leveling the guns with salvage. So I didn't see anything amazing. And then I started thinking to myself, what are you doing, man? That was $200 to get a gun that you could have eventually locked if you'd have just played the game. I mean, $200, you guys. I don't care if you do YouTube and you post a video and you make $200. That's still $200. I make a lot more money than all these YouTubers that you guys think are so wealthy. I wouldn't spend $200 on a digital weapon. Do you guys understand that I could go to the store and buy a pistol for $200? A real life pistol that I could go shoot an animal with? Y'all understand this, right? Just like when people were spending hundreds of dollars to get a wrench or a butterfly knife, and I'm sitting here shaking my head like, really? Now, when it comes to nostalgia, like me wanting to get the Peacekeeper, I would have no problem if I had like a guarantee. You know how when they came out with the Weapons Bride, where you could spend whatever it was, 15 or 20 bucks, and you're guaranteed to get a ranged weapon. You also get a melee weapon and all this kind of stuff. I was cool with that because I was guaranteed to get something. The supply drop stuff, there's no guarantee. And, you know, younger people haven't learned their lesson yet. You know, the saying, we all learn the hard way. So they have a tendency to gamble more, and you just get a bunch of junk from it. But I was very excited that he did it. I know it sounds funny because I got to see firsthand exactly what to expect if you were to do something like that, and he didn't get anything. Anything. It's amazing. But what are my overall thoughts on supply drops? I could really care less. And when people make videos about them, I don't care. Whether they're excited about them or they're making fun of them or they're ripping Activision for them, I don't care. I don't usually watch them. They're here to stay, and it's not an Activision creation. You can thank all those games that you can buy on your cell phone with the microtransactions, of which I actually fell into the trap of that many years ago. I played this game, Galaxy something. It's a spaceship game where you position your ships and you would compete against people all over the world. And I would say over the course of a year, I probably spent over $200 on that game. Had a lot of fun. I could justify it in my mind because, you know, I would spend $5 a week to buy certain things in the game so I could compete more, but I would play the game for hours every single week. You know, if I went to the movies and bought a ticket for a movie, it'd be $10, and that's only 2 hours worth of entertainment. Where I was playing on my phone, and I would spend, you know, 6 hours a week, so $5. It's an even trade. You know what I mean? I'm actually getting more for my money by playing the game on my cell phone. So that's my position on the COD points. All right, you guys, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm very thankful that I didn't answer a controversial question. So I don't think I'll lose any subscribers on this one. As always, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. As always, leave a comment down below. Ask me some questions, and I'll give you some answers. And subscribe for more if you're new, because I try to be here every single